think it's very funny that the most fun Darren Aronofsky movie is still one that features a brutal death scene basically every 20 minutes. I think they really oversold on the comedic side of this film in the marketing for it, which is honestly very understandable because while the film does have its quirky moments, it only serves to highlight the contrast between those light touches and the bursts of harsh and unflinching violence. Even the films that I've seen this get compared to, like Martin Scorsese's After Hours or some early Guy Ritchie stuff like Lock, Stock, or Snatch, all have a very consistent tonal approach to the varying elements at play, where even the violence in something like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels is kind of played for laughs, or at least is sort of drenched in some form of irony. And that doesn't really happen here. The action that happens is basically the one part of the movie where you're reminded very clearly that the guy who made Black Swan and Requiem for a Dream is behind the camera. This constant sort of vibe shift that keeps happening might turn off some folks, but I actually had a pretty good time with it. I think it's a very unique playground for this kind of pulpy crime thriller narrative, and I was also surprised by just how comfortable Darren Aronofsky felt in this kind of space. Also, there was just something about the way this film captures New York, or at the very least the Lower East Side of 1998. I don't know if nostalgic is the right word, but it just shows this kind of gritty and unkempt side of the city that we just don't really get to see much anymore. And not only did it kind of feel like a movie that could have come out in 1998 alongside films like Hard Rain, The Big Hit, or Thursday, which is a movie that I got a lot of similar vibes from, it feels like a movie that was made in the late 90s, trying to feel like a movie that was made in the late 70s. Of course, the performances were terrific across the board. I think this might be some of the strongest work that I've seen from Austin Butler. I loved his Elvis, but there's just something about the way he captures this character's weariness, his regret, and the sense of Arrested Development that made a really big impression on me. Plus, there's just a lot of great character actors just popping up throughout the film. So as gnarly as the film does get, I ultimately had a really fun time with it. I think the book that this film is based on does have sequels. I don't know if that's an idea floating around the filmmakers' minds, but if this movie is all we get, I think it's still very much a worthwhile ride. So those are my thoughts on Caught Stealing. If you've seen the film, feel free to let me know what you thought of it in the comments.